Hey, how's it going everyone? Welcome to a video, and we have a double Spy Family release today. Actually today is stacked in Japan for retail releases. If you haven't seen already, I did drop my Gorgeal video from Jujutsu Kaisen this morning, so yeah, please go check that out if you're into Jujutsu Kaisen. I highly recommend that figure, it is so good. But anyway, today we are here with Bond Forger with Anya. And then Damian Desmond, the second son, or Jinan. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised they released these on the same day instead of spreading out. But next month we do have Becky, who I will also go get. These figures I didn't actually pre-order. I just went and picked them up tonight when I was getting dinner. It's fun to go into shops, right, to pick up figures. It's one thing I definitely miss. You know, 99.9% of the figures I do get pre-orders, so they just come in the mail. But going into the shop, hunting around, picking them up, so good. I definitely love it. Let me know in the comments below if that's what your one of your hobbies or pastimes is, shuffling through shops to find that holy grail figure, or if you are purely online only. But anyway, let's jump into these figures. So we'll do a quick review of both, have a little look. And yeah, so far, I mean, you can see on the back here with the images showcasing what they come with, and definitely lots with Desmond, like all the other Spy Family figures. But yeah, overall the styling of the boxes is exactly the same as the previous ones, with a nice pastel colouring, and they are looking good. But anyway, we're not here for the box, we're here for the contents. So let's pop them open and check out what they do actually come with. So starting on the left with Bond and Anya, Bond in the centre there, man, he is so much fun, but we'll get onto that a little bit later in the video. But along with the base 4 legs he comes with, he also has 2 rear legs, so he can do that sitting down pose, which is nice. He does also come with a stand, so you can hold it from air while he's, you know, running through the air, chasing after Anya, playing and all that, which is cool. And then for Anya, we have her there in a sitting down pose, so that's moulded, well, due to her design. If you have the other releases for her, you'll understand, but she has that long dress, which will hinder the articulation. So to get around that, we have a fixed moulded version, so she can do the sitting down pose and ride Bond. She comes with 1 base faceplate that's already on her, and then we get 3 pairs of hands. We've got the first, the hand spread, and then the kind of finger pointy one, which is nice. The base hands on her are kind of the more relaxed ones. Now for Damian, he's basically just like the other Anya, or actually any of the Spy Family ones, to be honest. Basic figure stacked with expressions. So figure of himself, he does have folded arms. We've got 3 pairs of hands as well, which match up with Anya. For faceplates, we've got the neutral face. They're kind of like, actually, how would you even describe the expression? Just completely like, yeah, no, disinterested, what the hell type of a look. Side glance smile, teeth gritting, but kind of that embarrassed look, like, no, I'm not infatuated with Anya, no. Type of look, the shocked one, and then the mouth open smiling. If you haven't seen the series, I highly recommend it. All the characters have great expressions for different situations, especially with the younger characters since they are kids. You know, the emotions you can really see on their face in the series, and I feel Tamashi's done a great job of bringing that to figure form. But anyway, I'll pop them out of the packaging and we can get a close look at the actual overall finish. Okay, so they're swinging around the turntable here. Hopefully both are in focus, but you know, as you can see, Damian is obviously the school uniform version, because that's basically the only place we see him in the series. And yeah, the gold and all the printing on it matches up lovely. The colour printing on the back is crisp and clean as well, so everything there is looking nice and very standard with this line. If you have the school version of Anya, basically take that and make it into a boy version, and that's what you get. I don't really see too much else that is different or stand out, but overall the finish is crisp and clean. Bond is awesome, lovely sculpting throughout his whole fur. We have the colouring for his paws that subtly blends into which then blends into a more subtle brown colour into the rest of his white fur. You know, the printing or colouring of the face is all nice as well. And then same for Anya, very standard, very nice flow in her lower dress is cool, and she sits on Bond really well. It's very simple and basic design, but it works really well. And overall these ones are looking cool. I will point out, I can get Damian to stand by himself. Oh, there we go, he's standing now. But definitely very fiddly for a figure because they are small with tiny feet. And a balance on these ones is definitely hard. If you do struggle, I do recommend a little bit of blue tack under their feet. But with patience and time, you can get them standing under their own 2 feet without any stands or anything. But yeah, let's take a closer look at the articulation for these figures. So starting with Anya, it's just the set molded neck, so we only get the swivel on there, a little bit of forward and back but not much due to the hair stopping that motion. The arms, I feel like these are the same as her base form. We get some nice decent motion. It does feel nice and smooth. And then the elbow is, it's not too bad. Again, very similar to her other releases. Now the main difference is in the leg section, which has this molded dress. It is rubber, so you can move it a little bit, but for the most part it is fixed in that position. Now there's quite a big gap there, so you can put her legs up and straight, so you can actually sit her down flat as well. And then you can swivel these from left and right easy, so you can have her kind of sit her down on a chair, on a ledge, or for a bond in this case. So you can have her kind of sitting sideways if you want. Overall good motion because there's nothing really stopping the articulation there, and that main hip area is on a nice loose joint as well, to allow for that easy motion to sit on bond. The knee joint is really nice as well, and then same for the ankle. So obviously she's not designed to stand, designed to sit down and mainly to sit on bond, and I think they did a really good job for being able to pull that off. Now moving over to the main figure in this set, and that is Bond himself, and starting with the head we get nice side motion. He can look down a little bit, he can look up, so nice motion there in the neck, and it is set up in 2 different parts there, so we can swivel each one around individually, with the bow tie being on the center part. So definitely nice little motion there. Coming into the front legs, we do have a shoulder joint, so you can kind of spread its legs out as well, do that kind of, like, I don't know, leaning forward, kind of a dog pose or lying down, spread them out to do the whole jumping. So yeah, overall, quite impressive with the range of motion there, and it feels really nice and smooth. Coming down to the paws, actually it's cool. We have a nice little shiny paw print on the bottom, and then we have a base peg in there, and that gives you a nice swivel motion, forward and back tilt. So overall the range of motion we get in his paw is really good, and when combined with his whole leg, it is nice, even though there is no ankle joint. But I think for a aesthetic reason, having no joint there is definitely the better option. Now for the rear legs, again, really nice joint, swivels back, forward, out, really easy. And yeah, it feels really nice. The paws on this one are fixed though, so we don't get any motion there. It's just mainly where that leg will move. The tail as well, we can swivel this around, up and down a little bit. So you can tuck all the way down and go up, which is cool. And then you can swivel it all the way around. So definitely nice motion there. This is very simple, but it works really well, and he looks so good. I mean, just check him out, so cute. Oh, that's right, I did forget. The other part of articulation is his mouth. A little bit harder, but you can kind of close it up and then open it up. That is so cool. I did not expect him to have a articulated mouth. So yeah, and his teeth sculpting is really nice. He has a lovely little pink tongue with some sculpting on there as well. So yeah, the detail on this is really cool. So I don't know, I'm an animal lover. I love dogs, cats, any animal really. So this is really cool. I'd love to see more animal releases from Tamashii. It would have been cool to get some with Jujutsu Kaisen with Megami. Ooh. Anyway, I'm definitely glad we are getting Bond at least, and hopefully we get more in the future because this is so cute and fun. Definitely looking forward to taking some photos in the future with this figure. Okay, so moving over to Damian. Yeah, the full swivel on the head is nice, motion is good, a little bit of forward tilt, looks up. No, not really any articulation there due to the hair stopping on the back, but you can get a little bit, maybe 0.5 millimeter. So back, no real articulation, but going forward, yeah, it's not bad, about a mil or two. Now the shoulders are really basic, but everything feels really nice. That did pop off because, well, you can change the arms to the folded ones, which we'll do soon. Let me attach this properly, and then we can swivel his arm up and around. There we go. So due to it being such a tiny figure with tiny little joints, it is easy to pop these off, which is good, so we don't have to worry about breakages. But I think that could be one annoying part of this figure, perhaps if you're trying to play around a lot. Anyway, there we go. The elbow joint, again, pretty basic, and then the hand is very similar to that of Anya, with very minimal range. It is hard with these tiny figures which have itty bitty peg joints, but you get a little bit of motion. It's mainly just swivel though, and some back and forth. Now the center torso here, there's no point of articulation, so it is just one straight hard plastic chest, very similar to that of Anya, but we get, you know, a couple of mil of motion and these going in and out, going forward as well, a little bit of motion there, forward and back. The knee joint is basic, not a huge range of motion, a little bit, and then the ankle is quite nice as well, actually a decent range of motion in his foot. You know, we've got the usual swivel, tilt and all that, but one thing that really surprised me when I took him out of the box, you can see there's a line right through his thigh. He actually has thigh swivel. That is really cool how that's there. Obviously the uniform lines won't match up once you do move it, but depending on the pose you're going for, this does give you one little extra bit of motion, which can come in handy when trying to get him to stand. I mean, I didn't expect much articulation out of this figure. I'm not disappointed. He's exactly what I expected, especially from a tiny little figure. More articulation would be amazing, but for these figures, I'm not buying them for the articulation. I'm buying for the aesthetic look and those expressions. So yeah, speaking of expressions, let's go and take a look at all the ones that Damian actually does come with. So the base face is that neutral, subtle for animal. I mean, Damian's, I feel sorry for him as a character. He's not exactly loved by his family. He is quite sad. So this is a really fitting expression for him. Now to change the faceplates, we should just be able to pop the bangs off, and that will give us access to the faceplate, which easily pops off. The second faceplate is that looking off to the left smirk, really cool. I'm loving the colour on the eyes, that kind of olive green with a little bit highlights, little bit eyelashes as well, and then my eyebrows with a little bit tick. So the printing on the faceplates is super crisp and clean. Next up is that subtly, you know, flustered look with the teeth gritting, and one thing that's really cool, which you may not be seeing on the camera, you can actually see some teeth lines in there as well, which is cool, and some little bit blush marks on his cheeks. So moving into the next one, and this one, I love this expression. Look at the little bit, you know, the subtle mouth open where he's a little bit shocked, with the wee Z marks above his nose, with a little bit exaggeration lines on his forehead, with a little bit kind of W eyebrows, you know, the blush marks. This is so cool. I mean, this is the selling point for the Spy Family line. It is these extreme expressions with all the detailing. It brings forth so much emotion. You know, articulation, no, these are like probably a 1 out of 10 for articulation, but the expressions, they are a 20 out of 10, and that is what makes these so much fun, especially for that kind of toy photography. So yeah, anyway, let's jump over to the next face. We do have 3 more to go. Now we have a little bit more of a subtle face. This one's a little bit of a shocked, a little bit of a blush again, really cool. You know, we go from the extreme with the previous one to a more subtle one here, so we get the full range of expressions with this figure. Okay, so I think this is the expression that we all make when we get a new figure. That massive smile with the little subtle peachy cheeks from, you know, just maybe the joy that's coming through when we open up a brand new figure. And then finally we have the expression that we have when we walk into work the next day after staying out way too late playing with our figures. This one's really cool. I think, you know, this one we kind of see in the series when he's been up all night studying to get his Stella. Yeah, anyway, a couple of those scenes is really cool. Definitely looks exhausted, like he's kind of zombified, with a little wee kind of sweat drop or, you know, tear coming down his cheek there, which is really cool. Again, I think, is there any subtle peachy, no peachy colour. It kind of looked like there was, but just a nice little subtle colouring in the mouth is really cool. And now for Anya, we just get a single faceplate with this release, though her other two figures come with so many expressions, just like the Damian when we saw. So if you haven't picked those up, I do have a couple of reviews, so go check them out and you can see all the cool expressions which we do have for Anya. But this one here, a nice big smile with a little bit peachy lines underneath, her eyes on her cheeks as well to bring forth that emotion. And in case you were wondering, yes, she is. She is compatible with all the faceplates from the other releases, so you can mix and match and get the most out of any one of the Anya figures, which is really cool. And then for accessories, we saw before that Damian also comes with those folded arms, which are really easy to attach, and yeah, you know, it looks pretty good. If you watch a lot of my videos, you'll know I'm not a big fan of folded arms, but it did work really well on this. I mean, it helped that his arms do come off super easy, which, you know, maybe is a little bit of a con in some ways if you don't plan on using them, but you can just easily pop them off. It just has a normal peg. They're kind of like a peg for a hand on most larger adult figures, so it's super easy to switch on and off, which is at least a bonus, so you can avoid any breakages, but maybe a little bit more fiddly when just trying to pose his arms normally though. So now for Bond, we do have his hind legs, which is actually a pretty cool design, so we can pop this off and that will give us the inner peg, so this can pop off as well, and it's just a nice little I'm not sure, hex? Anyway, I won't try and go there. There's a design, mix your shapes, pop it on, nice and easy. If you can't put on what's in his body, just pop it out of the socket and you can just slot it in to his leg like so, and then you can attach it nice and easy. And yeah, let's do it for the other side and then we can get him sitting down. There we go. There we go, now you've got a sitting down Bond, maybe put his legs up straight as well. You can kind of have him squatting, move the tail, so yeah, really cool. I like the flexibility and super easy to use, which is a huge bonus. Okay, so we got Bond set up here on his little wee stand there, comes with as well. Had Anya balancing on top, let's put it back up on there. That's one thing we'll cover maybe in the cons in this video, is just her ability to sit on Bond. Anyway, there we go. Anyway, as I was going to say before she fell over, we've got Anya up there, we've got Desmond, and one thing that's cool is how they come with the same type of hand, so we can have them pointing at Bond, Anya pointing ahead like, yeah, go Bond, charge ahead, big adventure. So, you know, having this stand is really cool as well, since you can have them, you know, running, you know, leaping through the air, like a super dog and all that, which is really cool. And it's not too high up off the ground either. So even for long-term, you know, posing on your display, you can keep him on there with his paws on the ground as well. So if you're maybe a bit worried, like here in Japan, we do have quite a few earthquakes. So using stands is always a bit of a, you know, benefit for long-term display purposes. But obviously, even without it, he can stand on his own legs without any issue. Okay, so I've got a few more of the figures, the recent casual Yor, Lloyd, and the original Anya release here for a bit of a size comparison, and we'll jump into the final thoughts. So the sizing with Damian and Anya, I think it matched up really well, and yeah, you know, they look cool together. You know, especially seeing the small characters standing next to Bond, I think that is so cool. And then Bond with Lloyd and Yor as well, I think the sizing there's looking good. Now, coming into the pros and cons, starting off with Bond and Anya, I think the fact that we actually got an articulated animal release who's kind of a real side character, I think that is really cool and fun. That's what I really want to highlight about these figures. Yeah, they're not the best in terms of articulation. I mean, Lloyd is pretty, you know, even for a bigger figure, yeah, you know. But these are really fun. the sculpting on Lloyd is cool, the painting or the weathering, the fact his mouth can open and shut is really cool. Then we get basically an actual body for Anya, so she can sit on him, and that's really cool. Like being able to recreate those moments from the series, that is where this line shines due to all the expressions, and we get another one for Anya with this. And you know, the interchangeability is awesome. Now the cons, my only real con with this release is the fact that Anya is still, I mean, she sits on him, but it's still a little bit loose. However, the way it works though, we don't have any weird joints or connectors or anything like that on Bond, so he looks beautiful without her on there, and she can still sit, so it works. You know, it's just a little bit fiddly, she can easily fall off as we saw before, but once you do have it posed up, it does work cool. Now coming over to Damian, you know, the cons are going to be the same as the other Anya figures. Due to the small body, the articulation is limited, a little bit fiddly to stand. However, in terms of pros, the finish, you know, the gold, the printing of the logo, all the buttons on his top, the lines on his pants, all that is crisp and clean, and then those expressions are just to another level. Just like the Anya releases, such a wide range of expressions with this figure that makes them so much fun. Again, these figures are fun, and you know, we don't always need the highest level of articulation, the highest level of sculpting or anything like that. Sometimes just a good selection of expressions can make a figure so much fun and worthwhile to own, and that's where I kind of added, like, to be honest, I did not think I would have all these figures. But first Anya came out, I thought, hey, that's fun, I'll pick it up. Now I got the other couple, and then my wife said, oh, you're going to get Lloyd too, and you have to get the whole family. So, oh, yeah, okay. And then, you know, it's just snowballed. I've had so much fun with these. Every release, so I'm definitely looking forward to Becky next month, and I actually want more. Fiona, the Afro dude, I always forget his name, even the movie versions. And speaking of which, I did see the movie in the break, and it was a lot of fun, so if you get the chance, I highly recommend it if you want a good laugh and just a fun, enjoyable movie to watch. So yeah, overall, that's it for the pros and cons. If you like the series and you've enjoyed the figures so far, go get them. I highly recommend it, just because, again, they are fun. I've posted that word 101 times already in this video, but I have it one more time, fun. That's what these figures are. So definitely drop a comment below what you think about these. If you got the older releases, if you put down the casual ones, are you getting Bond, Anya, and so forth? And who else would you like to see? Actually, an accessory pack would be cool. I'd really like to see the Penguin. Remember, they've shown it off in one of the dioramas they had at the Tamashii Nations back in 2022. I think 2023 as well. So maybe an accessory kit or that with another version of Anya would be really cool. So yeah, anyway, that is it for a review. If you're into Jujutsu Kaisen, there's his review as well. And if you're coming to Japan anytime soon, I have just put up the first part of a multi-part ultimate shopping guide for Japan, or Tokyo especially, and Akihabara. I highlight all the best shops to go to, what to avoid, where to find a bathroom when you need it, and so forth. So go check that out. It'll definitely save you a lot of time and money when you make your trip over here to Japan. Yeah, so anyway, again, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, cheers!